I made my mom cry after she called my siblings and I accidents. I 18 female and my mom 47 female have never been insanely close, but we got along and never got into arguments. But last winter my parents decided to split up after my dad 48 male found out she was cheating on him with some random guy she met at work again. Story for another time. After my dad told us what had happened, he told us she wasn't moving back in and had left. She never said goodbye, and she never apologized in person. All my siblings and I got was a text that read, "By now you've probably already heard, and I just want you to know it has nothing to do with you guys, but I need time to find myself." That was it, and we went 6 months with no contact with her. Those 6 months had been the hardest months of my life. Like I said, I never had any bad blood towards my mom, so going from a somewhat good relationship to absolutely no contact was hard. I started to grow very annoyed with her within the second month, when I had to sit my little brother down and explain to him that our mom was not unalive. After months of therapy, I decided to reach out to her and ask her a few questions. She agreed to meet, and we talked for what felt like an hour. I asked her why she did what she did, and all she could say was that she did it because she didn't love my dad anymore. Which, okay, I get, I don't condone cheating, but I understand falling out of love. I told her then that she shouldn't have done what she did. I then asked her why she hadn't reached out to us, since we seemingly had nothing to do with her leaving. This is essentially what she said. For privacy purposes, we will call the new boyfriend 49 male Dave. I have been a mother since I was 17 years old. I never got to just have fun as a kid. Dave was fun. I was having fun. I was discovering who I was. I don't think I was meant to be a mother. I love you all, but having kids so young ruined me. I always knew I didn't want to be a parent. The choice was never mine. I got angry with her. I knew that having one kid so young could have been a challenge, but you have to understand my mom didn't just have 2 accidental pregnancies. She had 6. At 6, you aren't having an accident anymore, you are straight up being irresponsible. I told her so. I told her that if she always knew she didn't want to be a mother, she shouldn't have had kids. For reference, she has 6 kids. My oldest brother has a different dad. My older sister has a different dad, and my 3 brothers and I have the same dad. Plus, she agreed to be godmother to my cousin and her best friend's baby. I got a little angry after she said people make mistakes. I told her we weren't her mistakes, we were her kids. I told her she was never even our mother, she never went to award shows, open houses, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, nothing. I told her I love her and I always will, but if she was gonna sit here and act like her life was a tragedy, then I didn't want to be around her anymore. I left afterward, and an hour or so later I got a call from my grandmother, my mom's mom, yelling at me for making my mom cry, and that I was being ungrateful for everything she did for us. So am I the jerk for making my mom cry after she called us accidents? For reference, my siblings are 30 male, 28 female, 22 male, 14 male, and 13 male, and me 18 female. From the comments, sounds like Dave is so fun and exciting. Only winners and fun people get locked up. Your mom must be so proud. OP, he's such a fun guy. You know he's a drug dealer and thief. The first time I met him, he told me I needed to relax and offered me something I couldn't even pronounce, lol. I didn't actually grow to hate him till he tried draining my bank account. Update. I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone who left such thoughtful comments. A lot of people asked for an update on how my parents split, so I wrote out the story for you. Feel free to skip if you just want an update on the situation as a whole. Background story. My mom, had been coming home late for months, which I only knew a little bit about because I was 5 hours away from college, and she told them that her work had her working nearly 24-hour shifts. She works at a gas station. She was a manager, and it was a 24-hour gas station. Of course, we were suspicious, but my mother is a workaholic and very rarely takes care of herself. For context, she used to work at retail as a manager, and during COVID, she worked herself nearly to death and ended up in the hospital for blood clots and high blood pressure. She also never ate unless my dad or I physically forced her to eat. So her choosing to stay at the gas station for nearly 24 hours was not nearly as out of pocket as you might have thought. From what I know, on multiple occasions, my dad had driven down to her work to drag her home because he was scared she'd literally pass out from exhaustion, and he didn't want to see her in the hospital. The gas station she worked at was a 30-minute drive a town over, and she only took the job because after she quit the retail store, it was the only place willing to match her pay. Anyway, on Christmas Day, I had gone to take my mom food because she had to work, and when I got there, she wasn't there. I asked the employee working, and she looked so nervous when I asked about my mom. She lied and said she was in a meeting with the district manager. I didn't think much of it, so I left the food and went home, and I remember briefly telling my dad about the weird encounter. A week later, my dad would sit us down and tell us that our mom was seeing someone else who wasn't coming home and she needed space away. As I mentioned in my original post, my mom and I started talking again after I felt comfortable enough after therapy. She only agreed because the man she had been seeing, Dave, had been arrested for stealing her credit card and card. As of today, I am healing. For those asking if my grandmother knew the whole story, the answer is yes. She knew everything from my mom's cheating and the things my mom said to me. She just never has been a fan of me, mostly because of my dad. She never approved of him and makes it known who her favorite grandchildren are. And spoiler, it's not me and my brothers. Lol, it's just a reality I've lived with my entire life knowing this, and I've done my therapy for it. I am good. I have decided to go low contact with my mother. The only reason I am not fully cutting her off is because my mom suffers from multiple mental health issues, including bipolar, depression, anxiety, and a list of medical issues. I know it's not an excuse, but she's agreed to sit down with me and talk. My older siblings will be joining us as well, and we are going to tell her she needs to start taking responsibility. If she makes a scene, I will fully cut her out of my life, but I want my little brother to know I fought not just for our mom, but for them, because at the end of the day, they are still kids who need their mom. So once again, thank you for everyone's concern, and I will try to start answering comments tomorrow. Edit. Anyone asking what my dad did for my mom to leave STFU? My dad is an angel on earth. He works nights so he can be with my brothers during the day and sleeps while they are at school. He stayed with my mom when she cheated on him the first time, just so the family wouldn't split. They never fought or argued in front of us, and literally a month before it came out that she was cheating, he was taking her on weekend trips. At the end of the day, even my mom has told us he did nothing wrong, she just didn't love him, and she let her demons outshine her. I love my dad and he deserves the world. From the comments, I'm begging you, if your grandmother ever calls and starts talking down to you again, please tell her while you appreciate the feedback, you only listen to people that you love and respect. Since she fills neither of those options, since you don't fill either for her, she can take her stupid opinion and shove it up her geriatric butt. OP, I am baiting my time with my grandma. She has cancer, and the only reason I haven't cut her out is because she raised my older sister. My older sister suffers a lot from mental health issues, and I want to be able to be there for my sister. My grandma and I rarely argue, it's more tense, and she ignores me when I am around. This is one of the few rare times she's actually yelled at me. I know it's toxic, but I am thinking about the people in my life who I love and care about.